The recorder is on. Okay, great. So first things first, let's go to that pain in the ass Aussie dollar that we were in for a week. It finally moved our way. As you can see, this was the original entry here. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So this was our original entry a couple of days ago. I went down to an H4 just to get a better look at it. And this little mark right here was the original 100 pip take profit. But what happened was I came back to the computer. It had gone all the way down past my 100 pip take profit and pulled back up. Now, so you know what happened? I forgot to put the 100 pip take profit in,
Right.
which was kind of like just I had to laugh, but I was really angry.
First
So,
time around the block there.
yeah. So, oh, this guy. I'm just going to let that finish ringing. So what happened was I knew I wasn't going to be around today, and it was already up like 88 pips. And I said, you know what? I'll just close it now because I wasn't sure if it was going to go back down to the take profit. And 88 pips, since it hit the 100 mark, it made the point we were looking for. That 100 pip move from one grid to the next. So I took the 88 pips, and wouldn't you know it, the next 15-minute candle, I mean, the next 1 hour candle, I think it was, went right down to my take profit. Okay. So I thought that was kind of funny. Oh, it was this candle actually. As soon as I got out, you see where I got out, right? I got out right there, and the next candle went down to the take profit. Take profit is in here somewhere. You can't see it on this chart. So that trade played out anyway as we expected. It just took a lot longer than I thought. All right. As for the other trades, let me open this up. I think I posted the details in the chat, right?
You
Yes.
did, yeah.
Okay, so yeah, we're up 179 pips for the week on the dailies, and technically up 100, a little over 100 pips for the week if I count in. I have to count in that one, that first Aussie dollar trade. Let me slide this over here so you can see it. So this is from the day we started the dailies and the grid, and you see we had that first loss right there.
Yeah.
And this is tied to one of my smaller live accounts. That's where we got all this rollover and this other stuff in here, which is a little bit of a pain in the butt, but it's not much money at all. So since then, what we've done is for that week, we've made our 100 pips, as you can see, and everything here is basically $1 a pip to keep the math easy. So taking that loss into account, we covered our 100 pips for the week.
Yeah.
And actually did 100. We actually did a little bit better than 179. I just round things up uh, just because sometimes I get a little mentally busy. This is our chart, and this whole area here was that one big loss, and then you see we took off after the 17th. All right. Again, the key things to look for here is the relative drawdown and the maximal drawdown, and you see our relative drawdown was only 1.8%, so we had less than a 2% drawdown, which is really really good, and that's from keeping your lot size in check and all that. Our profit trades, we were 71% profitable on all of our trades, which is good. Anything over 60, should be is good. I usually am around 75, 85%. So I'm not disappointed with this. Um, and a couple of the trades, let me just go, let me get this out of here. A couple of the trades are would have gone much farther, but I moved my stop up to break even points, as you can see here with the dollar CAD and the Euro Aussie.
Mm.
My general take profit was 50, but in these two cases, it tapped me, and you see here, price came down, that wick got me, and it went right back in our direction again. And this is not a grid trade. This was based on the daily. I just have the grids up here. But you follow me? So these are the daily trades. And we had the same thing here with Euro Aussie. You see here, that little wick right there, that was my break even at 25 pips. And it tagged it and kept going. So had I not moved my stop up, both of these would have been 50 pip winners also. All right. Let me open that up a little bit. So again, the daily trades, they take a little longer because they're daily trades. And that, can take a bit of time to get used to, because we're used to opening a candle. We're like, if I open a candle now, I know the first thing that's going to happen is going to make the bottom wick, and then it'll come back and shoot long. But on a daily, it may take, 3/4 of the day to make that bottom wick before it takes off. So that aspect may take a bit of getting used to. All right, but the method does work. And we had we had one losing trade. Let me go back to the what do you call it here? Yeah, we had one losing trade out of the 6 we took. And well, that comes out to, that's about right. So again, all the trades panned out. I tried as best I could to update the room to let you know if I was going to move a stop or make an adjustment or whatever. We have more than covered our 1% per day or our 5 pips per day by getting 100 pips for the week. So it's another way of getting to that point based on what kind of time you can spend at the computer. If you can spend the time scalping, beautiful, go ahead and do it. If you can't, then this is another very viable way by using these daily trades to get you in. And I take a modest take profit of 50 because it's generally the most reachable number, particularly when you're looking at pairs that do 150, 200 pip ranges. All right. And it makes it very, very simple. And again, the other thing that we were doing was placing our trades kind of in the middle of the morning instead of at the close of the daily candle, because we're not together when that happens. So we had a little bit of a restriction there, but it didn't actually hurt us at all. So it's something I may just do every day from here on. The next thing was on the daily trades, like the Euro CAD. I'll just grab any one of them. Let's take this Euro Aussie. Well, this Euro Aussie, it took the trade on the candle we wanted, and then the pair took off because this is where that trade was placed on the daily. I want to find one that, let's go to dollar CAD. That one took off. There were a couple here that, and now I can't find them. That one took off where we wanted to, right at the top of the candle. Let's look at this one. And that one took off at the close of this candle. I must be bugging out because I saw one that it finally kicked in, but it kicked in several days later. And what happened was, just because of my schedule, I wasn't at the computer to move the entry to the next candle. You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think I posted it in the room. I believe this was the entry on this one, on the daily. Yeah, this was it. Yeah, and I remember posting that it got up close to like 48 pips and pulled back. But had I been here the day after, I would have moved the entry to here, and we still would have hit our mark. I think it was this, the Euro Aussie. All right. So again, we had a couple of weeks in a row of decent results. We hit the goals we were looking for, and so next week, what I want to do is to continue the dailies. All right. And the grid trading. All right, and looking for setups next week because I won't be here to I don't know if I'll be here Monday, but I don't usually do Mondays anyway. and we'll go back to the scalping. I do have another method I wanted to uh, show everybody. So that's the 116 profit on the Aussie. Took forever in a day, but we finally got there. So are there any? Oh, Ron, sorry in advance for still not having a headset. Oh, one, two. Oh, he's reading something. 1% per day would have been $250 per week. Yeah, on a standard account, right? On a standard lot, Ron. I'm doing the dollar a pip thing here for the sake of keeping the math easy. You follow me? But if you trade a standard lot or you trade like a half a lot at least, we kind of blew that right out the water. Okay. Um, did that answer your question, or did that address your remark? Oh, there's a bunch of stuff I didn't see here. Let me roll up a little bit. When Oh, I'm basing this on a standard lot. And yeah, well, 2% per week still isn't bad either. I see your other comments. Just keeping the lot size the same level. Why not just keeping the lot size the same level? Explain that to me, Ron, so I understand where you're coming from. I don't keep the lot size the same level while he's typing something back. Um, okay, so he would suggest to have only monetary goals instead of pip goals. That may fit you. You get what I'm saying, Ron, to have a monetary goal rather than a pip goal. Different people have different ways that they want to approach the market. That's why I address both issues, because one issue just may have a better feel for you, and that's the way you want to go. So some people are very much into the actual dollars involved, and other people are very much into how many pips can I get per day, because they're scaling their lot size up or down based on the trade they're looking at. So it's a matter of picking the one you want. You follow me? Well, yeah, Ron, you're saying you personally think it doesn't make sense to have pip goals when you alter lot size. Now, I'll disagree with that only because I found in my trading that the only thing I can control is the risk, and you really, really have to be a risk hawk. Um, so that's why being able to adjust the lot size is a big, big part of my being able to get, 70 and 80% winners, because I'm not putting so much money out there that I get afraid to take a properly structured trade. And that's my personal thing. I always want to be trading from a viewpoint of comfort. And I see a lot of the other guys, try to trade, and they're always banging out the same lot size and not really, well, they just have a different way of doing it. I don't want to knock anybody. So, um, Ron is saying you can win 400 pips with 0.01 and then lose 100 pips with 0.1. Well, yeah, but by the same token, Ron, you could win 400 pips with 0.1 and then win another 100 pips with one lot. The one thing you may or may not have picked up on is that I always mentally operate from the viewpoint of a positive expected outcome. Always. That's why you haven't seen me hit a big drawdown, and that's why you've seen between the 70 and 90. I'll say about an 80% success rate on the trades. I'm trying to. I don't know why you won't get a headphone. Your name is not Oz, is it? Doesn't he remind you of him? Anyway, but gee, I'm trying to explain. I can only explain what works for me. You follow me? And then I show the other sides of it that other people may be able to pick up on, Ron. I would like to set the goal to get the account up by 5%. Well, Ron, why don't you try doing it on your account?
Could I say something here?
Sure.
Yeah. So I mean, it seems pretty plain to me. I mean, if your risk threshold is say $100, and you're trading that on for the day or whatever, you're trading that on the 5-minute, and your risk, and you switch to daily, your risk threshold should not change. I don't know, is that making sense to you, Ron? So in other words, if you're risking a lot, you know, you're trading one lot, then and then you're trading, you know, 0.10 lots, but you're looking for 100 pips instead of just 5. You know, that's where the difference comes in. Is that right, Luke?
Yeah, no, that's good because you have to fit it to your risk profile. You know, and that's this is my risk profile. I am much more interested in getting a higher success rate of trades,
Yeah.
and then using the availability to change the lot size to protect the account. Okay.
Yeah, it's logical, isn't it? I mean, you know, a 5 pip stop on a 5-minute chart trading the 1889 isn't going to work on a daily trade, is it?
No, no, not at all.
It's logical.
Well, again, everyone's got their own way to
You've got to
figure it
adjust the
out.
lot size. You've got to adjust. You've got to adjust accordingly, haven't you? I mean, it's not rocket science.
Yeah, well, and then the only big difference I do is that the one thing I do that has been unchangeable is I give myself a $200 limit on my day trades,
Yeah.
and I give myself a a $200 limit on my intraday trades, and a $500 limit on my daily trades, which is still well within reason.
And when you've taken trades and said that, you know, you got in a bit too late, or you know, you're not that sure about it, you've adjusted your lot size down, haven't you? I mean, it's
Yeah.
you know,
It's well for me. The approach I think
logical.
is sensible.
It's common sense.
Yeah, and I'm not saying Ron is wrong in his thinking, but I mean, try it, Ron, and you'll see you'll be adjusting lot sizes soon enough. All I'm saying is try it, you know, and uh, you'll
I don't think
understand.
it's good to
The
get
reason I
fixated
pick
on a
point,
lot size, though.
what's that?
I said I don't think it's good to get fixated on a lot size.
Yeah, well, again, everyone has, you know, just remember, you know, Ron was
We're
fixated
all
on the
different. Yeah,
1% per
we're all
day and
different.
all that, you know. I mean, if this was a one lot on a standard account, you're looking at $1,600. And if we
Yeah,
go back to the stuff we did with the day trading, I think that was another 600 or something bucks,
yeah.
or maybe more than that. Um, no, the risk is not 1% per trade, Ron. I don't quite, I think you may be confusing the 1%. I'll talk a scenario out that happens with a lot of traders. What time is it? I've got a few minutes. So you have a guy that wants to, like we've all heard, never risk more than 3% of your account basically on any one trade. Okay. Are you good with math, Ron? Oh, good. So you know what? Let me bring up the spreadsheet. And this is a perfect example of where I'm coming from. I'm structuring a trade plan. I have a guy that wants to make $1,500 a week, and he's got $3,000. So I set this up for him for $1,000, going for 10 pips a day. All right, and I think this is 6 months he can do that in. Yeah, month 7. Okay, so this is where I left off, month 7. So what I want you to lock in on is, and I'll get Ron. Ah, no, wait. Do you want to reopen? No. Well, I must have did something wrong here. Okay. So in this scenario, Ron, you see where my percent of account traded says 20%? Okay, that number is, okay, so that number 20% is much larger than the experts tell you. Would you agree with that? Okay. Now, if I go for a 10 pip trade, trading 0.02 lots, and if that trade doesn't work out, $20 is lost in the account. Do you agree with that? And I'm waiting for Ron to respond. I don't know if he did or not.
Yeah, you
You,
did. Yeah.
oh, he did. Okay. Now, 20% is what percentage of $1,000? 20% is what percentage of $1,000?
You mean $20 is what percent?
Oh, $20. I'm sorry. Yeah, $20 is what percent of it? So it's 2%. So you see that on that trade, all that was ever at risk was 2%. Do you see that? So it's about risking X percent of your actual trading capital. And a lot of times when they put those statements out there, that it really, really throws people off because they misinterpret what that means. And they'll say, well, don't risk more than 2% on any one trade. So then they see a great trade on pound dollar, they take it at 0.02, and that's their 2% for the day. But what will happen is they'll see another great trade on Aussie dollar, they'll trade another 2%, thinking that they're following the 2% rule, when in actuality, they've ended up risking 4% of their account. And if they see a third trade, they'll end up risking 6% of their account. And then when the account disappears overnight, they can't figure out what happened. Well, I only risk 2% per trade and blah, blah, blah. And they misinterpret that dramatically. It's 2% of your capital. If the capital is $100, the most you're going to lose on that one trade is 2% of that on that day. Now, let me go to the other trading thing. Hang on. That the lot size calculator. Oh shoot, where is it? I was moving stuff around on my desktop. Hang on, should be here somewhere. Oh, here it is. Okay. So do you follow me on that so far, Ron? And it's good this is coming up because money management is talked about a lot, and it's really the core of keeping your account intact and being able to grow an account. But so few people really dig into the minutia of it to really understand it. Okay, so now let's look at this scenario here. So you have a $10,000 account. You're willing to risk 3% on that account. Let me make these zero. Let me zero these out. Because I want you, oh, that's the letter O. That's not quite the, okay, that's a zero. Zero. I did it again with the letter O. Oh, it's almost Friday, Lou. It's almost Friday. It's almost Friday. Just got to keep saying that. Okay, and that's a zero. And then let's zero these out. Okay. So now, understand the whole thing with position sizing. If I were to take one trade, risking 3% of my $10,000, which is $300, do you follow me on that, Ron? He typed something else. Just wanted to bring up concerns that these 100 pips with point. No, Ron, I understand that. I understand what you're saying, but what I'm trying to explain to you is that I'm basing this on trading a standard lot. But that's not the point. Okay. You got to get a headset, Ron.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know it's difficult to explain chatting, but I just want to walk through this just so you understand. So this is telling me I have $300 for the day that I can risk on my trades. All right. And this is based on me trading. Now this 0.35 tells me I can trade 0.35 lots with an 85 pip stop. And if that doesn't work out, it will use up my $300 for the day. All right. So now, but what I choose to do, if I have a risk of $300 a day, well, then I'd like to use as much of that as possible. So let's say I see a trade with a lot size of, with a stop loss size of 50. Remember, the only thing that I can control is my risk. All right. And then I'll trade zero point 0.2 of that. All right. So now I have a zero point 0.2 with a 50 pip stop. If that doesn't pan out, I lose 100 of the three. All right. So then let's say I see another trade, um, and I decide to go 0.15 on that one, and the stop on that one is 30 pips. So if that one doesn't pan out, I lose that $45, but that still leaves me $155 for the day. And you can keep working this down all the way down. You can get 8 or 10 trades in here. And keep in mind the take profits can be unlimited. I didn't put a limit in here on your take profit. I'm just saying if it's got a 50 pip stop, you could have a 100 pip take profit and double that. Do you follow me? So you can work this out a step at a time and then end up with a very, very uh, nice return on your money and still keeping your risk within 3% of your cash or 2% of your actual cash in the account. Because what you're trading is cash. I hope that's I'm explaining that clearly. And you know, this whole thing with risk is important, and a lot of guys they just misinterpret it.
Yeah, preservation of capital's first rule of trading.
Right, right. So I hope you know you got to get a headset, Ron. You know, you got to get a headset. Um, and as I said, what happens? The other thing too is that I have this tied to my live account, and on the particular trade copier, it goes like on a 10-to-1 ratio because it doesn't allow you to it doesn't allow you to adjust. And I'm testing a new copier for that. No, Ron, you didn't cause confusion. I'm really, really happy you bring this up. I'm really happy you bring this up. And I get your point that at a 0.01, you don't specifically get a 5% or 1% as you're thinking based on a $5,000 lot size. Did you understand? I get that. What I'm trying to show you is that how you can protect the account. The rest of it will take care of itself. The rest of it will absolutely positively take care of itself. But if you can't get consistent and if you can't protect your account, that you know it all gets blown out of the water. Um, and you got to get a headset. All right. So now oh, the other thing too, I have to mention here, again, going back to lot size and all that, uh, a lot of people, my dashboard is missing one indicator, and I have to go find it and put it back on. And let me just open the dashboard here. You know, and trading's already tricky enough, and you know, to do all of this in front of everybody. I'm missing one indicator in here that was right here, and what it was, it told me how much each pip is paying, and based on the broker, how much it costs to place a one lot trade. So, for instance, on FXCM, if I place a one lot trade on pound dollar, I believe that right now it's going to cost me around $5,000 at 50-to-1 because they decided to increase the margin for that particular pair, a couple of pairs, as a matter of fact. Okay, when with most brokers, a one standard lot is $2,000 at 50-to-1. So I also have to keep in mind that I want to trade the cheapest pairs. You follow me? So if I have a $10,000 account, let's say, and it costs me $5,000 to trade one lot of pound dollar, When if I go to something like, oh wait, let me go look. I made notes here about that the other day. I think if I go to New Zealand yen, I think it cost me like 1,500 to trade one standard lot, and I
It's
still get.
24 in the New Zealand yen, and the pound dollar is 36.
That's what you're paying at FXCM?
Yeah.
Okay, I speaking with someone the other night, and they were paying 5 grand, which I
Well,
thought was.
the pound yen recently went up, and it's now 5,400.
Oh, okay, maybe it was pound yen he was talking about. Yeah. Okay, so like while pound yen is a popular pair, I don't like to trade it too much in my live account because of how much it costs to trade one lot, and I generally like to trade between two and four standard lots. Sometimes I'll go five or six if I really see like a really really nice setup. So it eats deeply into your equity. So you want
Yeah.
to trade the cheapest pairs, which is something else that it's a whole other conversation that I never brought up here because it wasn't important to what our mission was at the time. You follow me? So it's another aspect of capital preservation is understanding how much the pair you're trading costs and then figuring that in also, particularly if you have a small account or if your account won't allow you to trade um, um, a sizable amount without leaving you enough float. Because if it costs 3 grand to trade a a pair and you want to trade three lots and you've got like a $10,000 account, well, you could take the trade, but then that means you will only have like $1,000 of float. And at three lots, $30 a pip, it doesn't take many pips to eat up that $1,000 if the trade goes against you. I got it. Yeah, the other thing I have to get is a tablet that I can write on, and you can see what I'm writing. I can write on it with a stylus because I want to do all the math stuff, but it's a pain in the ass trying to draw with this mouse and trying to write numbers with the mouse. That just makes me nuts. And I don't want to go up to Windows 8 because I've seen too many people with headaches with it.
Oh, don't touch it with a barge pole.
Yeah, I know. Um, anyway, any questions on anything we did? I mean, we were successful with the scalping. And I consider this, successful with the dailies. We only had a 2% drawdown, which was good. Um, and I want to continue doing both of these, but then add something new in next week, perhaps another scalping system or maybe a 30-minute system or something like that. Um, any questions? Any thoughts? Is there anything I did that was unclear, or you didn't understand the entry, or didn't understand, how and why I managed it the way I did? Um, all right, so we'll pick this up again next week. I have to go finish packing and all that, and we'll be back here again Tuesday. And if you guys have a preference for anything, if you want to do another scalping system or another long-term system, I've got plenty of stuff. And we still haven't gotten into individual candlesticks or special indicators or 4-hour systems. That was the other thing I wanted to touch on was 4-hour because that's an easy one to trade also.
Too much interesting stuff. You can't do it all at once.
Yeah, it's tough, and I still have a whole life outside of this
Yeah.
computer that's got to be managed. So
Candlestick DNA, I think, is very important, though, isn't it?
yeah, maybe I'll lock in on that next week. Specific candle patterns and how the 2 candles and 3 candles talk to each other and all that. At least in my mind, they talk to each other. I know that doesn't sound right, but um, it's okay. I don't mind being half crazy, so as long as it's the right half.
I don't think that's crazy. I know a guy who trades almost at like a military strategy. I mean, to him, the chart is a war between the bulls and the bears, and every candle is a battle in that war.
Okay, if that works for him, yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah. I mean,
yeah.
God knows what kind of analysis he does. I've seen him do it, but he's very successful at it. But he's not really telling me what he's doing. So
Well, yeah, and a lot of guys, and I'm just the opposite. I'm, I'll say moderately successful. I don't like to, toot my horn or whatever, but I'm willing to show everybody because I know what it's like because I've been there with that hunger. Like, how am I going to feed my family? What am I going to do?
mm.
And that, oh man, um,
Do you think any of this will be of help to me?
all of it will, Mike. Once you find a particular niche that fits you, because you are smart. You're extremely smart. It's just that you also have this other part of your brain that can make things extremely confusing at the same time. So once you find a particular niche or system that satisfies both sides of your brain, you'll be off and running. I mean, you'll be a demon,
Okay.
because once if someone tells you look for this, that, and that, that's exactly what you'll look for, and you won't deviate. You're real good at that. That's a beautiful skill as a trader. It's just that you sometimes will get confused with the gray areas.
Just trying to see if it didn't seem like I was seeing the channels and trends and stuff like that
Then that
right, and
and it may not
I
fit you.
just don't know what works. And
Yeah, you might be better off maybe mastering the daily thing or mastering a 4 hour chart where you've got time to really look at it before you pull the trigger. I don't know, but I know as long as you keep looking, you'll find it. And I
have a
was
good
for
weekend. We'll see you next week.
okay. Um, so anyway, yeah, I try to show everybody that wants to learn as much as I have learned, and maybe they'll find something that will work for them. And that's why I guess a lot of stuff gets stolen and all that. This Wall Street guy I realized was trying to pick my brain and then uh, use me, I guess.
Kick you to the curb, dude.
Yeah, yeah, I know that's what he was up to. So, but I met someone else through him that actually is a much better fit. Um, and that's why I trade live in front of everybody because a lot of the gurus will show you wonderful charts and all these results, but you don't know. I've seen guys deliberately handpick to get a job. They will deliberately just handpick the charts and stuff they want to show someone because they're looking to get it into a company or whatever. And I just don't do that. If I lose a trade, I lose it in front of everybody. And you can see how I handle it and how I recover from it because that's a part of it too. You know what I'm saying? And I show you why I take the trades, and you see everything going on the chart. I don't hide anything, and I think that's extremely helpful for some people because I can't hold everybody's individual hand, which is that's where I'm really good at. But in this particular format, what we're doing, I think we've been fortunate that everything's been as visible as possible and has had a positive outcome. And again, keep in mind, particularly for Ron, just so you understand, my mindset is always expecting a positive outcome. And if that's your mindset walking in, then that is more likely what your result will be. Like that guy with the war, I was like that because I, used to play semi-pro football and blah, blah, blah. And I had that whole, like me against the market and, all this other just, and, with the swords like Game of Thrones and all that. And I was always frustrated and not making money, and then I decided, why am I arguing with someone that's willing to give me everything I want if I just pay attention? And that really opened up something for me. So then I decided to become friends with the market. And once I looked at the market as my friend, then it became much easier to deal with. And so every now and then, if I have a trade that doesn't pan out, it's more like a little slap on the wrist. Lou, pay attention, wake up. More so than ha 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 ha, I got you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I mean, even in the Aussie dollar, it's right there. The perfect example. First trade was a 90 pip loser. When the next signal popped up, boom, I went right back in and got it all back plus a little bit. when a lot of people would have that 90 pip loser and they'd be in a funk for a week trying to figure out, oh, what did I do wrong, and da da da, and la la la, and would literally step over three good trades while they're busy beating themselves up.
Well, it goes back to that old saying, doesn't it? The market can stay irrational longer than you can stay solvent.
Or sober.
Or sober. Yeah.
Well, what you resist persists.
Well, yeah, or my logo on Skype. I don't know if it shows up on your side, but your mind is a magnet. What you seek is seeking you.
Yeah.
That's what I believe. You know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, anything that you focus on will. It manifests in one way or another. So if you assume that the market's out to get you, it's going to freaking get you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if the market's your friend, it's going to be your friend, and you'll get everything you want out of it. So.
Yeah, you wouldn't walk into a boxing ring to have a fight thinking you're going to lose, would you? It wouldn't be any point.
Right. Well, exactly. That's how Mike Tyson won a lot of his early fights. They walked in just figuring. A lot of them walked in because they knew they were going to get a good payday to box him, but almost didn't have the thought of winning. And Mike walked in. It was like there's just, you're not walking out of here the same way you walked in.
He was an animal.
Yeah. He had a real good quote too that I thought was interesting when people thought he was real like arrogant and all that. And he said, "Why is it when my confidence bumps up against your insecurity, I'm the one that's wrong?"
Yeah.
When you think about it, that's a really, really powerful quote.
Yes.
Really, really powerful. So, be confident in what you do. And keep a positive expectancy.
Yeah.
And, we'll pick this up again next week. But at least I can show you, because, the other thing too, I've heard that thing, those that can do, those that can't teach. I think that's the saying.
Yeah.
And I so disagree with that. And, I prove it in person. So, and that's another real bad misnomer. A lot of guys, some teachers are just better than others. I'm not the greatest in the world, but I make an effort to be a good communicator and a good explainer of what's going on.
You're not one of those marketeers out there that are selling an impossible dream to people. People are coming along and they're being told you'll be a millionaire within a few months, and they're gullible enough to hand over $10,000-$20,000 to find out if it's right or not. I mean, God,
I know.
They should be strung up, those people. God.
And I know what they would charge to get these kind of results, and to say, I can get you these kind of results right now. 70% winners, 90% winners. 4 easy payments of $2,500.
Yeah.
I know what they would charge for this. I know it, and it makes no sense. If you're trying to really help people, tell them to put that $1,000 in an account, and then. But I'm able to make my own money. That's the difference. If I wasn't able to make money, then I'd be charging.
Yeah.
You get me?
Yeah.
So, and then we got technology. I can copy the trades in the room into my account. So, I'm not. Last year I lost. I won't say I lost money. I didn't trade as much as I should have because I was focused on doing what I'm doing here. So, and then to show you another attitude, I told you I had this guy. He wants to do this he wants to make $1,500 a week, and I just want to roll down. This really just blew me away. His attitude. So by month 7, he'll be making roughly $1,500 a week, which is around $6,000. All right. So this would be a good place for him to settle in. And then he'll be at $6,000, I think, in month 8. So I told him, give it 6 months to a year. He was like, 6 months. I'm like, what the? Yeah, I just couldn't believe it. I mean, what do you want in 6 hours? I mean, Jesus Christ. What's
You gotta
that?
rub my lamp the right way.
Yeah, I'm telling you. And I've done this with 4 people now, where they had like a dollar amount and we structured a plan. Now it took them longer than this spreadsheet did because they had losses. But once they got near their number and got in their groove, they just stopped and stayed right in that groove. Stayed right there and just kept plugging away, kept adjusting the lot size and all that. but they were willing to spend the 6 months. You know what I'm saying? To go and do it. And I keep telling people the 6 months is going to pass anyway. So you may as well do something in the meantime, because 6 months from now, I'm going to ask you what happened 6 months ago. So it's kind of a self-fulfilling thing, like you said. Um, anyway, I got to go. I ran over a little bit, and I will talk with all of you guys Tuesday.
All right, thank you, Luke.
Okay, and now I'll update this and it'll be posted today. All right, be well.
Okay, bye.